Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Nitai
Hare
Gaura
Krishna,
Hari
Mataji.
Bol. Yes, Mataji, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Thank you so much,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna,
Nitai
Prabhuji.
Gaura Hari Bol.
Welcome you on ICF forum, Prabhu. Thank you so much for sparing this time to guide all of us. We're looking forward to association from your end, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, you want us to share the screen? We can do that. You are on mute, Prabhu. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you so much, Shilpa Mataji. Thank you so much for giving us opportunity. So yes, if you want to share your screen, you can share the screen. The Radha Madhav Andal is done, or you want me to?
No, Prabhu, Radha Madhav is not done. We did the Kirtan and Mahamantra.
Okay. Okay, let me do the Jaya Radha Madhava, and then you can, we can start. Okay. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yamunatiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva. Okay, Maji. So we can start with the opening prayers. So Umagyanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamikam Dadati Svabadatikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagarajadam Sagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Visakha Vitam He Krishna Siddhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Vancha Kalpatarubhesha Kripa Sindhubhye Vacha Patitanam Vavanebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namah Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyadi Pashyata Desha Tarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gauravattaran Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So thank you very much Mataji for giving me the opportunity. So we are reading from Shrimad Bhagavatam 3.23. The slokas given to me 3.23, third canto, chapter 23, text 1 to 5. So this title, this chapter entitled Devavuti's Lamentation. Okay, so let's do the prayers for the Shrimad Bhagavatam. निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं सुखमुखादमुदतिव संयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. So, Mataji, so somebody should take turns to chant once, only one time, and read the purport.
Translation. You want us to read translation as well as the purport, Prabhu? Yes, we shall do that. Vasudha Mataji, you do the verse. Sudha Mataji, do translation. Prashanti Mataji, the purport. Hare Krishna.
Yes, ma'am.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Maitreya uvacha पितृभ्यां प्रस्थिते साध्वी पतिं इंगिता को विदा नित्यं पर्यचरत् प्रीत्या भवानी वा भवं प्रभुम. हरे कृष्ण. Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, pranams. Translation by Divine Guru Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Maitreya continued, after the departure of her parents, the chaste woman Devahuti, who could understand the desires of her husband, served him constantly with great love, as Bhavani, the wife of Lord Shiva, serves her husband. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The specific example of Bhavani is very significant. Bhavani means the wife of Bhava or Lord Shiva. Bhavani or Parvati, the daughter of King of the Himalayas, selected Lord Shiva, who appears to be just like a beggar, as her husband. In spite of her being a princess, she undertook all kinds of tribulations to associate with Lord Shiva, who did not even have a house, but was sitting underneath the trees and passing his time in meditation. Although Bhavani was the daughter of the very great king, she used to serve Lord Shiva just like a poor woman. Similarly, Devahuti was the daughter of an emperor, Swayambhu Manu, yet she preferred to accept Kardama Muni as her husband. She served him with great love and affection, and she knew how to please him. Therefore, she is designated here as Sadhvi, which means a chaste, faithful wife. A rare example is the ideal of Vedic civilization. Every woman is expected to be as good and chaste as Devahuti or Bhavani. Today in Hindu society, unmarried girls are still taught to worship Lord Shiva with the idea that they may get husbands like him. Lord Shiva is the ideal husband, not in the sense of riches or sense gratification, but because he is the greatest of all devotees. Vaishnavanam Yatha Sambhu, Shambhu or Lord Shiva is the ideal Vaishnava. He constantly meditates upon Lord Rama and chants Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Lord Shiva has a Vaishnava Sampradaya, which is called the Vaishnavami Sampradaya. Unmarried girls worship Lord Shiva so that they can expect a husband who is as good a Vaishnava as he. The girls are not taught to select a husband who is very rich or very opulent for material sense gratification. Rather, if a girl is fortunate enough to get a husband as good as Lord Shiva in devotional service, then her life becomes perfect. The wife is dependent on the husband, and if the husband is a Vaishnava, then naturally she shares the devotional service of the husband because she renders him service. This reciprocation of service and love between husband and wife is the ideal of a householder's life. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. So, next, text 2.
Hare Krishna. Shanti Mataji, you can do the verse. Sindhu Mataji, the translation. And Anasuya Mataji, the purport. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. विश्रम्भेन आत्मशौचेन गौरवेण तमेन च शुश्रूषया सौहृदेन वाचा मधुरया च भोः.
Translation and purport by Swami Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada
Sindhu
ki jai.
Mataji. Anasuya Mataji, you can do the translation.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, Sindhu Mataji, please do the translation.
Translation for verse 2, right?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, Pranam Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Wonderful.
52, translation by Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O Vidura, Devahuti served her husband with intimacy and great respect, with control of the senses, with love and with sweet words.
Anasuya Mataji, you can do the
Purport by Srila Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Pranam. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Here two words are very significant. Devahuti served her husband two ways, Vishrambhena and Gauravena. These are two important processes in serving the husband or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vishrambhena means with intimacy and Gauravena means with great reverence. The husband is a very intimate friend. Therefore, the wife must render service just like an intimate friend. And at the same time, she must understand that the husband is superior in position and thus she must offer him all respect. A man's psychology and woman's psychology are different. As constituted by bodily frame, a man always wants to be superior to his wife, and a woman, as bodily constituted, is naturally inferior to her husband. Thus, the natural instinct is that the husband wants to post himself as superior to the wife, and this must be observed. Even if there is some wrong on the part of the husband, the wife must tolerate it, and thus there will be no misunderstanding between husband and wife. Vishrambhena means with intimacy, but it must not be familiarity that breeds contempt. According to the Vedic civilization, a wife cannot call her husband by name. In the present civilization, the wife calls her husband by name, but in the Hindu civilization, she does not. Thus, the inferiority and superiority complexes are recognized. Damena, the menacha. A wife has to learn to control herself even if there is a misunderstanding. Sahridena, vacha madhuraya means always desiring good for the husband and speaking to him with sweet words. A person becomes agitated by so many material contacts in the outside world. Therefore, in his home life, he must be treated by his wife with sweet words. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Text 3.
Now, Kishori Mataji, you read the verse. Nabita Mataji, the translation. And Vrishabhanu Kanya Devi Dasi Mataji, the purport. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandvat Pranam. Vishrujya kamam dambam cha dvesham lobhamacham madama. Lobham madama apramadodyata nityam dijayam samutoshayata. Hare Krishna Mataji, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Working sanely and diligently, she pleased her very powerful husband, giving up all lust, pride, envy, greed, sinful activities, and vanity. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dandvat Pranam. Here are some of the qualities of a great husband's great wife. Kadamba Muni is great by spiritual qualification. Such a husband is called
Teji Amsam.
most powerful, although A wife may be equal to her husband in advancement in spiritual consciousness. She should not be vainly proud. Sometimes it happens that the wife comes from a very rich family, as did Devhuti, the daughter of Emperor uh, Swayam, Swayambhuva Manu. She could have been very proud of her parentage, but that is forbidden. The wife should not be proud of her parental position. She must always be submissive to the husband and must give up all vanity. As soon as the wife becomes proud of her parentage, her pride creates a great misunderstanding between the husband and wife, and their spiritual life is ruined. Dehuti was very careful about that, and therefore it is said here that she gave up pride completely. Dehuti was not unfaithful. The most sinful activity for a wife is to accept another husband or another lover. Uh, Chanakya Pandit has described four kinds of enemies at home. um, at home, if the father is in debt, he is considered to be an enemy. If the mother has selected another husband in the presence of her grown-up children, she is considered to be an enemy. If a wife does not live well with her husband but deals very roughly, then she is an enemy. And if a son is a fool, he is also an enemy. In family life, father, mother, wife, and children are assets. But if the wife or mother accept another husband in the presence of her husband or son, then accordingly to Vedic civilization, she is considered an enemy. A chaste and faithful woman must not practice adultery. That is greatly sinful act. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
No, Mataji, thank you very much. The next 4 and 5.
Hare Krishna, Maumita Mataji, you can read the shloka. Sharmila Mataji, you can read the translation. And I'll read the purport, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Pranam Prabhuji. Save Divarsivaryastam Lavim Samano Devadra Gariyasya Patyu Asasanam Mahashisa Kalena Bhuyasa Rasamam Karisitam Vratacharyaya Prima Gadaya Vacha Vidita Kripaya Bravai. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The daughter of Manu, who was fully devoted to her husband, looked upon him as greater even than Providence. Thus she expected great blessings from him. Having served him for a long time, she grew weak and emaciated due to her religious observances. Seeing her condition, Kardama, the foremost of celestial sages, was overcome with compassion and spoke to her in a voice choked with great love. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Namita Mataji, you can read the purport, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Namita Mataji, you can read the purport, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. The wife is expected to be of the same category as the husband. She must be prepared to follow the principles of the husband, and then there will be happy life. If the husband is a devotee and the wife is materialistic, there cannot be any peace in the home. The wife must see the tendencies of the husband and must be prepared to follow him. From Mahabharata, we learn that when Gandhari understood that her would-be husband Dhritarashtra was blind, she immediately began to practice blindness herself. Thus, she covered her eyes and played the part of a blind woman. She decided that since her husband was blind, she must also act like a blind woman. Otherwise, she would be proud of her eyes and her husband would be seen as inferior. The word Samanuvrata indicates that it is the duty of a wife to adopt the special circumstances in which the husband is situated. Of course, if the husband is as great as Kardama Muni, then a very good result accrues from following him. But even if the husband is not great devotee like Kardama Muni, it is the wife's duty to adapt herself according to his mentality. That makes married life very happy. It is also mentioned herein that by following the strict vows of chaste women, Princess Devati became very skinny, and therefore her husband became compassionate. He knew that she was the daughter of a great king and yet was serving him just like an ordinary woman. She was reduced in health by such activities, and he became compassionate and addressed her as follows. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you very much, Mataji, for reading the purport and the translation. So this is a very nice, because now we are in the Kardama Muni, that canto, Kardama Muni's life, Kardama Muni and Devati's life. Following this, in few chapters, we will see the appearance of Lord Kapila Dev and the great, philosophy given by Lord Kapila, which is, what is the philosophy given by Lord Kapila Dev? Anybody knows?
Sankhya philosophy.
Sankhya Yoga Prabhuji.
Sankhya philosophy. Very good. Sankhya. There are two Kapilas. One is a Devo. He also given a Sankhya philosophy, but Lord Kapila Dev philosophy is the original one, which is very, very authentic. Am I audible? My voice is clear?
Prabhuji. Actually, there was a network problem, Prabhuji. We couldn't hear that, Prabhuji. Two Kapilas, you said.
Yeah, the two Kapilas. There's one Kapila. The atheist Kapila's philosophy is bogus, and Lord Kapila Dev's philosophy is the authentic one. That is, Devati Kapila's philosophy is the authentic one. That is why it is coming in Shrimad Bhagavatam, because Shrimad Bhagavatam did not mention anything which is bogus. So because Shrimad Bhagavatam itself is considered to be Amala Purana, means without any, it's a spotless Purana. Amongst all the Puranas, this is a spotless Purana. Okay, so Sankhya philosophy. What does it mean? What is the Sankhya philosophy?
That we are not the body, we are the soul.
Soul and body.
The analysis of soul and body. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. So it looks like a lot of experts are here in Sankhya philosophy. So analytical study of the body and the soul, or the matter and the spirit. Okay, it says, let's say, rather than body and soul, let's keep this way. The analytical study of the matter and the spirit, and then connecting everything with the ultimate source. That is the Sankhya philosophy, which was propounded by Devati Kapila, Lord Kapila Dev. But the atheist Kapila, what he did, he came and he did the same analysis of the matter and the spirit, but he did not connect it to the source, which is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Aham sarvasya prabho matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante man bodha bhava samannitaha. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that everything emanates from me, the spiritual and the material world, everything emanates from me. So the source of everything is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Kapila Dev, that is the Lord Kapila, has clearly connected everything with the Supreme Source. But whereas the Kapila, the bogus Kapila, bogus philosophy did not connect. It is just analytical study of the matter and the spirit. So this is a wonderful subject matter. This third canto is when you do Bhakti Vaibhava, this you will the teachers of the Bhakti Vaibhava, they spend a lot of time, because these are the first three cantos of Bhakti Vaibhava, cantos 1, 2, 3, and towards the end of the third canto we have this the very important and the heavy philosophical subject matter, that is Sankhya philosophy. So you will all learn, maybe one day you will all will do the Bhakti Vaibhavas. So that time you will learn all this. Maybe somebody would have done it already. So you will learn that in detail. Okay. Now coming back to this subject, the text to one. Okay. So in the past chapters, maybe you all must have learned how the Devahutis and Swayambhu Manu's wedding happened. Oh, sorry. Devahuti and Kardama Muni's wedding. Swayambhu Manu was the father, and he gave the daughter, to Kardama Muni. Anybody can say who arranged the marriage and how the marriage happened from the past chapter?
The
Who
marriage
arranged
is arranged by Vishnu.
Yes, the Supreme Lord
Vishnu
has personally
gives
arranged the
hint to Kardama Muni that Manu is going to offer his daughter, and it will be suitable to you. Then
marriage. Yes, very good. And Kardama Muni also, that Lord Vishnu, informed Kardama Muni also that Swayambhu Manu will come and will give his daughter in marriage, so you need to accept. So they both were informed, and then similarly Swayambhu Manu came. Swayambhu Manu was the king of the entire, the planet. Okay, so that's why he's called, that's Manu, Swayambhu Manu. So if you see the marriage of Swayambhu Manu, although in the modern days, we can see now recently we had this, most of us must have heard this Ambani's wedding, pre-wedding bash in, what is that, some place in Gujarat. So it was, they spent, Jamnagar, yes, the Jamnagar. So he was just a businessman with some $1 billion. But if you see their wedding, they spent, millions and millions of dollars they spent. I was reading something in the WhatsApp forward message that they spent some 1,500 crores for just the pre-wedding bash. So that's how people want to show their opulence. But if you see Swayambhu Manu, although he was the king of the entire planet, and he was in possession of great opulence. Maybe if you all reading or attending continuously, you must have heard the beauty of Devahuti, right? Anybody remember one incident particularly happened, that the beauty of Devahuti and how that palace was?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I'll try, Prabhuji. There was a Gandharva who was flying in the Pushpaka Vimana, and he saw and he fell for the beauty of Devahuti, Prabhuji, who was playing on the terrace of her house.
Yeah, and
It
what
was
is
almost the size of the height of the sky.
Yeah, so their palaces was like so high, multi-story buildings. Because these multi-story buildings are not new. If like, because we think in the modern days, oh, everything is new. The ancient day, there is nothing. There is nothing. But now, what the technology that we have is already there in the in the ancient times, and some technology that they had, we still don't have. For example, from the Devahuti story, we can see that they had high, multi-story buildings. The palace was multi-story and very huge. And when she was playing on the terrace, Devahuti was playing in the terrace, and was flying in the Pushpak Viman, which is a Pushpak Viman, like, a Vimana, because all the celestial beings, they have their individual personal airplanes, which, we also aspire, the billionaires, they want to have a personal, the private jet. So like that, they had their own private jet. Everybody had one, and they were flying on their own. And, when this one Gandharva was flying, he saw the beauty of Devahuti, and he fainted actually. He fell down seeing the beauty of devotee. So that much beautiful devotee is, and their opulence is so much that we can't imagine how much opulence they had. And similarly, we can see from the first canto, when Narad Muni, decided, like, he saw the darshan of the Lord in the heart, and then the Lord, then he wanted to see the Lord, and then the Lord spoke to him. No, sorry. Before that, he sees the Lord. He gave up everything after his mother's death. He walked towards the north. As he was walking, anybody remember what all he saw? From the first canto. This is from the first. I know it's little long back. You must have read it. But anybody remember what all the Narada Muni saw as he was walking towards north?
These are high-raised buildings,
High hills,
manufacturing
mountains.
Mountains, very good. Buildings,
well-developed mines.
mining, very good. Very good. What else? Towns, cities. As he was walking, he saw everything. Like, there is, like, if you read that chapter, if you go back to first canto and read the chapter, particularly this, when Narada Muni has renounced everything and he was walking towards north, he saw everything, beautiful gardens, beautiful cities, mountains, a lot of water bodies, and then he saw mining, towns, everywhere people were living very happily. So it's not that something that what we are seeing nowadays, like, we saw, like, most of you are living in Bangalore. Bangalore is a city. It's a high-tech city, metropolitan city. But the people still suffering. You have to travel just for 10 kilometers. You have to spend 2 hours of time on the road. But in the modern days, it was not the story. So when Narada Muni went, he saw everything. He saw big cities, and it is all mentioned in the Bhagavatam. Yeah, it's nothing. I'm not talking on my own. So everything is mentioned in the Bhagavatam. And he saw mining. So we can think that, oh, mining is something new that we are doing. Like drilling the earth and taking the minerals from the earth is something new. We can think, but actually, it is there for ages. It was there. So people used to do mining, in during the other yugas also. So what we see in the modern world is not actually new. Everything is the same, which is happening again and again. Brahma, he does everything, and when he goes back to sleep, everything is annihilated. And when he gets up the next day, again he has to create. The same thing happens. The same thing happens. So in the material world, there is nothing new. If we think that something what we see is new, then we haven't read Bhagavatam, or we haven't studied our scriptures properly. So why I came to this, because Swayambhu Manu's opulence was so much, but because Lord Vishnu told to give the daughter in marriage to Kardama Muni, he simply went. He did not do any arrangements. He just took his wife and the daughter Dehuti to the forest, gave Devuti in marriage to Kardama Muni just in the forest, handed over her there, left there, and came back. Okay, he did not think, oh, what my daughter will do because of her growing up in the palace. He did not think that what my daughter will survive in this forest, whether this Kardama Muni has the ability to maintain my daughter and fulfill all the desires, because this all we see nowadays. In the modern days, we see whether the son, the son-in-law is good, whether he has money, whether he is working in a nice company, he has a house. What about is surviving? how he survives, how much bank balance he has, what are the assets he maintains, all these things. But Kadamba Muni doesn't have anything. He was just living in a hut, in a forest, in a kutir. And Swayambhu Muni did not see any qualification, but only one thing he saw. What is that? That he is a great devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Simply he went and gave the daughter in marriage. You must have read all these things in the previous chapters. So once Devati's parents left, what happened in the first chapter, in the first sloka, 23.1, Maitreya Muni is saying that Devavati served Kardama Muni just like how goddess Bhavani serves Lord Shiva. Okay. So, and Prabhupada writes the wonderful purport, similar to Devavati and Kardama Muni. Like what happens, the Parvati and Lord Shiva, they are wonderful pairs, a perfect pair. They both are the greatest devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, we know these stories, many stories. We know that how they are very much, devoted to Lord Shri Krishna and Lord Shri Narayan. So these two pairs, okay, Devavati and Kardama Muni, and Lord Shiva and Bhavani, you see there's a lot of similarities. Bhavani is the daughter of a great king, the daughter of Himalayas, and Lord Shiva was just like a beggar. Prabhupada mentions this word. Is like a beggar. He doesn't have any house. He lives under the tree. He lives in the in the burial ground. He puts the ash. If you, I think that canto only. I think beginning. How many of you remember the pastime of Daksha and how Daksha was killed? Anybody remember why Daksha was killed?
Because of
Because he
Aparada.
insulted.
He has
Insulted Shiva.
blamed Sati for coming for that without invitation, the function that is celebrating, and he was scolding Shiva in her presence,
Yes.
which made her to die herself.
Yeah, so Sati died just because she was insulted, and actually Sati left her body because she could not, she doesn't want to go back to her husband because she did not respect the word of Lord Shiva. Because Lord Shiva told, "Don't go," but Sati went, "No, I will go and convince my father so that you get the rightful share from the fire sacrifice, the oblations." But Sati did not hear, so she went and she left her body. So Daksha actually also insulted in that previous, that there was, Daksha had a great envy towards the Supreme, to the Lord Shiva. So he was having a lot of envy. This is one of the problem in the material world, like, because we don't like, or sometimes the conditioned soul, they don't like somebody who is doing, who is nice and who is a greater devotee than us. So this is naturally we have this envy. We have envy towards every single living entity, and even this amongst the devotee community. Sometimes what happens when we see somebody who is growing nicely, becoming a nice devotee, sometimes we envy them. Sometimes they get a lot of service, then we envy why they are getting only this service, why I am not getting that. So we have this envious nature. So we have to give up this envious nature because it is not good for our spiritual advancement. So Daksha was killed just because he offended Lord Shiva. Even when he was offending, Daksha told, "You are a person who lives in the burial ground. You only put the ashes from the burial ground. You apply it on your body. You are like a madman." So he offended so many things. But although this is and he mentions, just because Lord Brahma told me to give Sati in marriage to Lord Shiva, that's why I gave my daughter in marriage to Lord Shiva. Otherwise, I won't give. So Daksha offended Lord Shiva many times. So that's that, like, that is, if you remember. So Daksha is, sorry, Lord Shiva is like that. He doesn't care about his, what is that? His bodily appearance. He is always meditating on the Supreme Lord. If you remember the first stand, the third canto, the beginning of the third canto, then the Daksha entered the arena. Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma did not get up, but the rest all got up, stood up when Daksha, because Daksha was a great, Prajapati. So when he entered, everybody stood up, but only Brahma and Lord Shiva did not get up. Any reason? Do you know what is the reason for them? They didn't get up. Anybody remember?
Brahma is the father.
Very good. Brahma is in the position of father because he is elderly. So he did not get up because the father doesn't have to get up. Very good. Why Lord Shiva didn't get up? Because Lord Shiva is like a son-in-law, is junior, younger than Daksha.
Shiva was meditating.
Yeah, very good.
Yes,
So
yes,
if you remember the story, Lord Shiva will reveal that he did not offend Daksha by purpose, but he was meditating on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the greatness of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Shiva is so dear to the devotees of Krishna than his own devotees. This will come, these things will come. You can see in the anyone who is very devoted to Lord Krishna becomes dear to all the great personalities like Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Durga Devi, Bhavani Devi, anyone. For example, that the sons of the Prachetas, the sons of Prachenabargi. It will come later in the chapters, I think in the 5th canto or 6th canto, I'm not sure. Prachenabargi sons, 10 sons, they will go do tapasya underwater. There what happens? Lord Shiva appears and he teaches them Rudra Gita. Okay, and he tells them that you chant these verses, because what is Rudra Gita? Like how we have Bhagavad Gita, Gopi Gita, like that, there is Rudra Gita. What is that Rudra Gita? Rudra Gita is basically Lord Shiva's glorification of the Supreme Personality of God. So he teaches that Rudra Gita, and then he tells you practice, you chant these mantras every day, and then the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna will give you his audience to you. And similarly, what happened? They followed the instructions of Lord Shiva, and then they got the darshan of Lord Shri Krishna, Lord Shri Vishnu, Lord Shri Narayana. Okay, so we see from the story of Jadabharat that how Ma Durga, anybody knows the story of Jadabharat when he was going to be offered in the given as a Narabali to the goddess Durga. Anybody know what happens there?
Yes, Prabhuji.
What happens?
Then Kali comes and kills those people.
Yeah. So if you see, Kali was so dear to the devotees of the Supreme Lord than his own devotees. Okay. So Lord Shiva, those who are worshipping Lord Shiva gives all the opulence, all the material opulence. But he gives the love of Godhead to those who wants it. To those who are the devotees of Lord Shri Krishna. No. So that's why many times devotees also misunderstand and disrespect the demigods. We should respect the demigods, but at the same time, we should understand demigod worship is not recommended in our Krishna consciousness. We can go to Lord Shiva's temple because many devotees, they, but in the beginning of the Krishna conscious life, many of us do this. When we become Krishna conscious, when we came to know about Krishna as the Supreme Lord, when we hear that, Lord Shiva is a demigod, then many of us, we stop going to Lord Shiva temple. Particularly in public, in the audience, when you have some people around you, they say, "Oh, I don't want to go to this Lord Shiva temple," which is a great offense. You should go to the Lord Shiva's temple, pay obeisances, because Lord Shiva is Vaishnavanam Yata Shambhu. He is the greatest of all the Vaishnavas. So it is nothing wrong to going to a temple and paying obeisance to a devotee. Like when we see each other, we pay obeisances, right? And we say, so like that, the Lord Shiva is the greatest Vaishnava. So there's nothing wrong. When we see a sannyasi, we pay obeisances. Why? Because the sannyasi has dedicated his life to serving in the mission of Lord Shri Krishna. Similarly, Lord Shiva is always remembering Lord Shri Krishna, always meditating on the lotus feet of Lord Shri Krishna. So we must pay obeisances to Lord Shiva whenever we go to his temple. So,
Prabhuji, 1 minute. Prabhuji, so if we go to Shiva's temple, can we consume prasad?
Adhaji, can we hold the question and answer at the end? You can, because what happens if you interrupt?
Okay. Sorry.
I lose that flow of what I'm speaking, and then.
Yes, sorry, Prabhuji. I'll ask that.
We can hold the question and then we can have question and answer at the end. Yeah?
Yes. Okay,
Thank
Prabhuji.
you. I'll definitely answer the question. What was that? Okay, so Lord Shiva is that kind of personality. He doesn't care about his personal appearance and all these things. I know he's like a beggar only. If you know the story that the Lord Shiva and the goddess Parvati, they both were sitting under a tree and they were talking. Okay, and Lord Shiva was meditating on the Supreme Lord as usual, and Parvati, spoke to him and asked, "Why don't we have a palace? Why don't you build a palace for us? We are always staying under the trees and places where people doesn't go much, like the burial ground and all these things. So why don't we go and have a nice palace?" So Lord Shiva, seeing the request of the dear wife, he said, "Okay, we will have one palace." And then immediately he built a palace, a very wonderful palace. And then they invited some brahmanas, some priests to come and do the homa, the grava pravesh. So the priest came and did the grava pravesh, and then at the end of the homa, Lord Shiva asked, "Okay, now I have to give you dakshina. Whatever you want, you ask." He told the priest, and the priest in return, he asked that I want this palace. Lord Shiva, without even thinking for a moment, he said, "Okay, take this palace." And then again, they went back to the same tree where they were sitting. So that is the qualities of Lord Shiva. He is not attached to any of the material objects. Anything he is not. His only thing is attached to is the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. So, although he was like beggar, but Lord Goddess Parvati served her very nicely. So, when we talk about this chaste woman, okay, there are a few other names. So, can somebody name the chaste woman which was referred in the Shastras or by Prabhupada?
Kunti Maharani Prabhuji.
Kunti Maharani, very good.
Draupadi,
Draupadi, very good. Very good. Anyone else? Chaste woman.
Hare Krishna. Nala Damayanti Prabhuji. In previous classes, Prabhu had said.
Ahalya,
Yeah.
Sukanya.
Ahalya, Draupadi,
Savitri
Sita,
Devi.
Tara, Mandodari.
Savitri
Somebody said the last name.
Ahalya, Draupadi,
Mandodari.
Mandodari. Yes, Mandodari is also one of the very chaste women. Okay, because
Tara.
we
Sita
see
Devi.
Sita Devi, Mandodari, Gandhari. In this purport only, in the text, I think 4 or 5, Prabhupada was talking about Gandhari. because she closed her eyes because her husband was blind, so she also became blind. So she doesn't want to be superior than her husband. Okay, so Mandodari, Gandhari, Draupadi, there's so many personalities. They are very, very chaste. And this is the main, like I attended some Grihastha course, like, this is a course which is for the Grihasthas, like how to live a Grihastha life in the Krishna consciousness. I attended this in Mayapur with some of the very senior devotees. So it's basically for husband and wife, the husband and wife, they are, doing Krishna consciousness together, how to help each other. So, which gives a lot of information about Grihastha's responsibilities in Krishna consciousness and what is the responsibility of the husband and responsibility of the wife. So, if you see in the Krishna consciousness, husband has a lot of responsibilities. He has to take care of a full deity worship. And as the wife has to help, but the responsibility is the husband's. So like that, he has to perfect his sadhanas. He has to do a lot of things in Krishna consciousness. And what is the responsibility of the wife in Krishna consciousness? Any question? Anybody knows?
So,
To support him,
Serve the husband and take care
to
of his.
support husband.
Yes, the only responsibility, the only duty of the wife in the Krishna consciousness Grihastha ashrama is to support the husband, to help him advance in his Krishna consciousness. Why? Because if the husband advances in Krishna consciousness, naturally the wife also gets the fruit of it. So whatever services that the husband does, for example, if the husband goes for a parikrama, he goes to a holy place, whatever the benefit that he is getting, 50% of that automatically goes to the wife. 50% automatically goes to the wife. Similarly, whatever the sinful activity the wife does, 50% of the sinful act goes to the husband. So, as a wife, you are getting the share of the spiritual benefits, all the spiritual benefit of your husband, as well as you are giving your 50% of your sin to the husband. So the wife has to be very, very careful because not to commit sins, because it will affect the husband also. So why we came to this? Because in the modern days now, it has become a trend that the girls, they find their own husband. There's so much the so-called love marriage happens even among the devotee communities. It is happening. The so-called love marriage happens, but in the ancient period, in the ancient days, it's not the story. It is always by the parents. The parents will see the suitable husband who is superior to the girl. Someone's mic is, I think, on.
Kusum Mataji, kindly mute Mataji. Hare Krishna.
So the husband should be always superior. For example, if you see Janak Maharaj, he put one condition that what was the condition to marry Sita? What was the condition? Kusum Mataji. Kusum Mataji, can you please keep your mic mute? The host can mute the Mataji. Kusum, the host. I don't know who's the host. Shilpa Mataji, can you? Okay, I'm not a host.
Suma Mataji also can.
Mataji, I'm not able to mute Mataji. I'm not a co.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Because when we ultimately change the and the streamline की जाने वाला इसलिए हम टीचरों से शुरू मैं अपने पॉइंट की डेट क्या करने वाला हूँ
Hare Krishna, Shilpa Mataji.
What is happening, Mataji? Prabhuji is on mute.
You are unmuted, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you very much. So, it is always the husband has to be superior to the wife in the spiritual life, in the spiritual, or even in the sense of material element. So it is not basically, there's so many women are here. It is not basically to discriminate women, because somebody may think, oh, okay, why there is this discrimination. It is it is important that the woman is under the protection of a men when they are young, they are under the protection of the father. When they are married, they are under the protection of the husband, and when they are old, they are under the protection of the son or the son-in-law. Basically, the woman rights activists and all these people, there's so many people, they want the woman to come to be equal with men, which is basically not accepted by Prabhupada. And as we are the followers of Prabhupada, we have to follow Prabhupada. And why Prabhupada? He gives in one lecture I heard, and Prabhupada says the woman and the men are created for different function in the society. If there should be no discrimination, then why Krishna has to create a man and a woman? He could have just created all men. The men can give birth to a child. The woman can also do all the functions of the men. So that's not possible. So that's why the Lord has created a man and a woman, because they do certain functions in the society, and mainly it is a duty of the men to protect the woman. But in the modern society, what happens? The men, the so-called people, those who are the women rights activists, they want the woman to come out of the protection of the men so that they can be exploited. Because when the woman is not under the protection of a man, there will be a lot of exploitation of the woman happens. So that is why in the Shastras, it is always told that the woman must be under the protection of the men. And we can see in this purport how in this few slokas how nicely this Devavati was serving Kardama Muni. Although she is very rich, she was living in a very opulent life. Now she took all the troubles to serve his husband sincerely and properly, with intimacy and love and care, so that his husband is pleased. That is the only goal of Devoti, is to please the husband, because if the husband is pleased, she will also get the fruits of the devotional service of her husband. So she was serving the husband so nicely that she very thin, but she is like in the future chapters you will see. After this chapter, you will see what happens. She will ask for she will lament, and then she will ask for a son, and then Kadama Muni will be pleased with her request, and then they will go he will create a mansion, a floating mansion which flies in the air, and then they enjoy their Devoti and Kadama Muni enjoyed there for thousands of years. And then Devuti's bodies, Devoti will go inside a water, and then there will be thousands of maid servant, because Kadama Muni was so powerful with his mystic power. He will create all these things, and he will bring back the beauty 1,000 times better than what she was before. So Kadama Muni was a great personality, he was a great devotee, and he is a great mystic yogi as well. He had a lot of mystic power, but he will not use it mystic power unnecessarily. But because the request of his wife, he will create the mansion and all these things to please, because it is the duty of the husband also to please the wife. It is not only the the wife pleases the husband, and the husband does all the takes advantage of it and does not care for the wife. It is the duty of the husband also to take care of the wife in Krishna consciousness. Get her things, get her gifts, get her what she likes, so that there is a loving relationship between the husband and wife, so that they both can advance in their Krishna conscious life. So if you see, the devotee is served with intimacy, like the intimate friend. The husband and wife must have a lot of intimacy, like intimate friends. Okay, so they should share everything, very very sensitive things also they must share, so that they know each other very well and advance in Krishna consciousness. And in the last one, Prabhupada, the fourth and fifth text, Prabhupada writes about woman protection and adultery, which is in fourth and fifth. No, it is somewhere in this purport. Prabhupada writes, yeah, that's one of the text too. Prabhupada writes that how the men goes out and they meet with, like, for example, when the men goes out to work, and similarly nowadays in the modern days, even the Matajis also works. So when they go out, they deal with so many karmis, so many people with the materialistic tendencies. They they have to uh, associate with these people, and do certain things in the materially in the workplace. But when they come back, okay, it is very important that we have a nice environment at home, because our home is like a temple. When we go to the temple, how we feel peaceful, happy, satisfied. Similarly, when someone comes home, they should have the same thing. Like when they enter, if the wife is there at home, they should speak some sweet words, offer water, offer something to the husband, give him comfort, make him sit in the nice place. All these things the wife has to do. Similarly, the husband has to do when the wife comes from outside. So why? Because it is very important that we keep our home a positive environment, so that we all advance in our Krishna consciousness. And in one of the purport, Prabhupada speaks about women's protection, because all the women has to be protected. Otherwise, what will happen? Like Prabhupada talks about in the purport, Prabhupada talks about the four types of enemies, and quoting Chanakya Pandit. We all know Chanakya Pandit, who is a great personality. Four types of enemy is: one, the father who is in debt; two, the mother who marries someone else in the presence of grown-up sons, then the mother is considered to be an enemy. And then the wife who doesn't care about the family, who doesn't serve, and who also has affairs, is also considered to be an enemy. And the son who is foolish is also considered to be enemy. So why we came to this particular woman who involves or gets has another affair. That's why we have this. Not only just the woman, it is also applicable for the men in Krishna consciousness. That's why we have this. One of the four regulative principle is no illicit sex. So men and women in the Krishna consciousness should not consider having affairs outside the marriage. So that's why we call the men call all the women as Matajis except the wife, because everyone else is considered to be a mother in the Krishna consciousness, and we have to respect them. We have to treat them nicely. It is not that we have to discriminate the woman. You are inferior to me. You have to do this. You have to do that. No, you have to give a lot of respect to the woman. You have to give a lot of care and love to the woman. Treat them nicely, and then protect them. So that is very, very important, so that we all can advance in our Krishna consciousness. This reciprocation of the men will come in the next few slokas, how Kardama Muni is going to reciprocate. Now we saw how Devavati served Kardama Muni. now after this, you will see how Kardama Muni is going to reciprocate the loving exchange with the Devu. Okay, so I will stop here. I think I'm 5 minutes above the time, so now I'll take maybe 2-3 questions just to save the time.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you so much for a lovely class. Very, very nectarian. Suma Mataji, you can ask your question. We'll be quick with
Thank
that.
you, Mataji. Hare
I
Krishna.
think
Hare
first
Krishna,
1 minute,
Prabhuji.
Mataji. Somebody asked one question before. Can we take prasadam from Lord Shiva's temple? See, it all depends on time, place, and circumstances, and whether it is made properly. If if it is made without onion and garlic, and if it is offered properly to Lord Shiva, yes, we can take little, not to offend the devotees or the people around you, because sometimes, because if you don't respect Lord Shiva, you cannot attract the Lord Shiva's devotee. And then if you don't attract them, then how you can make them as devotees of Lord Shri Krishna? So you have to accept it little, saying that, yeah, I will take little like that. But if it is not cooked in a proper place, but if you are alone, you can avoid it if it is required. But Lord Shiva is also a great devotee. Like for example, he is considered to be one of the greatest Vaishnavas. So you can take Vaishnavas remnants also, like how we take the remnants of sadhus, like that we can take the remnants of Lord Shiva. Again, very little, but it is not necessary for us to keep any objects of worship related to Lord Shiva in the altar and offer him prasadam and take it. No need. Yeah.
Hare Krishna,
Thank you,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. May I ask, Prabhuji? Thank you,
Yes,
Prabhuji.
Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, my question is that wife should always serve her husband. So irrespective of whether he is in Krishna consciousness or not, is it that correct, Prabhuji, my understanding?
Yes.
And
So, yes, I finished your question, Mataji. So the question is,
yes,
should I serve my husband nicely, even though if my husband is not in Krishna consciousness? Right?
yes, Prabhuji.
Very good. This is a very, very common question, because this is a very, very, I see a lot of devotees having troubles in this. That the husband is not in Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada writes, I think, in the purport, even though that the husband is a devotee, but the wife is not a devotee, still they have to serve nicely. So it is mandatory that the husband and wife, our relationship must be nice. If it is not nice, then the family cannot be peaceful. Okay. So, like for example, Prabhupada, I think somewhere he mentions that it is nice that the both are traveling together, but due to some unfortunate situation, the husband doesn't cooperate, the husband doesn't is not interested in Krishna consciousness, but still it is the duty of the wife to serve the husband nicely according to what he needs. Because when you are not in Krishna consciousness and you do something which is not nice, still it's okay. But when you became a devotee, now your husband is going to see your activities very closely than before, because he will observe you, what you are doing, how you are treating others, how you are dealing with others, how you are caring for others, so that he gets attracted to Krishna consciousness rather than your activity. Sometimes, for example, I have seen families that the wife is in Krishna consciousness, full Krishna consciousness, and completely disregards the family, completely disrespects the husbands, and the husbands at one, they tolerate to a certain level, and then they completely stops the wife going to any program, attending any class. Then the wife's Krishna consciousness has gone for a toss. So you have to do your duties to Krishna nicely, and as well as treat your family members so nicely. Offer prasadam, cook prasadam, and offer it to your husband, wife, nice prasadam so that they get attracted to the prasadam. Many of people get attracted to Krishna consciousness for the prasadam only, and prasadam can do the magic. So you cook prasadam, offer it to you cook the bhoga, offer it to the Lord, and offer the prasadam to the husband, serve him nicely, take care of him, so that husband will transform one day. I have seen this in my own experience. Many husbands, they were completely against Krishna consciousness, but because of the what I would say, the behavior of the wife, how they maintain it, because you should not become aggressive. You are in Krishna consciousness and the husband is not cooperative. You should deal according to the mood of the husband, and do things slowly, not become, oh, okay, you don't stop me chanting, stop me from chanting, I will chant 16 rounds every day, you don't worry about that, you don't care, we should not speak to the husband like this, or the husband should not speak to the wife like this. If they need something, you serve them, you can stop your chanting, start chanting can be done later. They will watch your behavior so that they will also have a transformation within the heart. I have seen, that's what I'm saying. Personally, I have seen how people, the husbands particularly, because if the husband is Krishna consciousness, it is easy to influence the husband, it is easy for the husband to influence the wife and make her Krishna consciousness. But it is very troublesome if the wife is Krishna consciousness and the husband is not Krishna consciousness. Sometimes it is very difficult to influence, but the only way to influence the husband is by behavior, by Krishna conscious behavior, by gentle behavior, and offering nice prasadam to the husband. They will transform, and I have seen this in my lifetime. I have seen many cases within my yatra, within the other yatras. Many people have transformed, like they are completely against Krishna consciousness, but they are doing. Now they have become devotees, initiated. They are doing a lot of service. We can't even imagine that much service they are doing because of the purity and the chastity of the wife. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thanks for giving me hope, Prabhuji. I have been and I seek your blessings also, Prabhuji, that my husband also should come to this Krishna consciousness. Prabhuji, actually, the problem is that whatever he asks, we can cook. But what about the meat or something which is not offerable to the Lord? So when we are offering prasadam, it is difficult. So should we listen to them? And of course, I'm doing it, Prabhuji. So I just asked.
Okay, so that's what at the beginning of the Krishna consciousness, these tribulations are there. You have to go through it, but you keep praying to Krishna that give me some opportunity, my dear Lord, so that I can come over this situation. When you are cooking something which is not recommended in Krishna consciousness, then pray to Krishna while you cook that, oh my dear Lord, please help me to overcome this situation, and the Lord will arrange things for you. Okay, and definitely slowly and gently you speak to, like when you have a nice time with your husband, serve him nicely, and when he is in the right mood, right time, right opportunity, look for it, and then speak to him and say that, okay, it is very difficult for me to cook. Why I'm saying this, because this is what has happened. Explain to him what is the reason why I should not cook, and why I should not serve meat, all these things. And then you request him at one stage that, please, can we stop eating in the home? Maybe if you want, you can eat outside. I'm not going to disturb you, but can we stop cooking at home so that I can always serve you prasadam, and you can tell the glories of the prasadam. So something like that. So gently, slowly take steps so that they don't become aggressive. The men doesn't become aggressive. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
And I definitely pray to Srila Prabhupada and Panchatattva that your Prabhu will transform and he will become a great devotee and do a lot of service. And I have seen this, and it will happen. Only thing is, you should not give up the hope. You should always have the hope, and you should your purity will attract people. Purity is the force. Prabhupada has told many times, purity is the force. The more pure you become, the more stricter you become in your sadhanas in Krishna consciousness, and you will become, you can influence others. Very important thing is, my Siksha Guru told me this, in Krishna consciousness is, we should have highest standard for ourselves. Okay. And the highest tolerance for others. Okay. But what we do, we keep highest tolerance for us and we keep highest standard for others. We expect others to maintain high standards. But when it comes to us, we can say, yeah, it's okay. I can eat one rasagulla. No, it's okay. It's not offered, but it's okay. Only one rasagulla today. But when we see some other eating, unoffered food, some biscuit or chocolate, you see this devotee is such a great devotee, but he's so senior, but you see he's eating food which is not offered to the Lord. He's not eating prasadam. So this is not accepted. You maintain higher standard and keep it secret. You don't show it, don't exhibit to others. But you're the highest tolerance for others. Like for example, your own children. Your own children, when we go out, they want to eat something outside. Buy them, get it. Because that shows your tolerance. You cannot preach them at the time, oh, you are not allowed to eat, this, because that is a standard that you maintain. You have that standard for yourself, but don't teach it to others. Means you can preach in a right platform, a right time. But if you want to influence others, you should have tolerance with others. Okay,
Thank you,
Mataji?
Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. It was so helpful, Prabhuji, for me. Hare Krishna. Pranamst.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Sonam
Hare
Mataji?
Krishna Prabhuji.
Sonam Mataji, you have a question?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Pranam Prabhuji.
Pranam,
Prabhuji,
Mataji.
like here it is mentioned that unmarried girls keep fast for Shivji to have good husband. Actually, I also observed the same for 16 Mondays. That time I was not in bhakti, not in devotional service, and I'm lucky to have a devoted husband. And now I'm also in Krishna conscious only. But the thing is that Prabhuji, I have only one kid now, and she's a bit stubborn, and she take a lot of time to study and to eat. She's 5 year old. So like I don't have that much tolerance power like you mentioned, no, that we should have. So I lost patience many times, and I'm worried for the second kid because my husband is saying to have second kid, and we have not yet planned. So my question is, along with Garbhan Sanskar, I just had a thought ki like I kept a fasting for husband, and I'm satisfied with my husband, and like feeling grateful also for that. So I should have fasting for the second kid from Lord Shiva, but I'm having doubt because we are following Krishna conscious. So should I think like that? What should I do? Only because of this, by seeing the behavior of first kid, no, this thought come in my mind that what if the second kid would also be like that, and how will I tolerate and all?
It is basically, okay, just to answer your question in parts. First of all, it is very important that you have high standards of tolerance. Okay, because when you said my child is so obstinate and like that, I thought your child may be some 15 years, 16 years old. But when you said your child is only 5 years old, it's very natural. They're child, they're kids. So you should allow them to have what they want. If they don't eat, don't force them. Let them starve. Next meal, automatically they will eat. You don't have to, this is the problem with our Indian parents, that you expect the child to eat 3 meals or 4 meals in a day. And in the modern world, I don't know physical activities, how much they do, because nowadays everything has become, gadgets. Now no child is going out to play. When we all are growing up as a child, we used to always stay outside to play, and we come to eat only in the home. But here, nowadays it's opposite. So you don't, force a child to eat, and there is nothing wrong if a child skips one meal, he is not going to die. So leave her. If she doesn't want, give her. If you want to feed her with love, as a loving mother, feed her. If the child says no, I don't want, okay, stop it. Let her starve. Engage her in more physical activities. Engage her in some other activities, and then automatically she become hungry, and next meal she will automatically eat. She will eat more than what you want. So don't worry about the eating habit. This is also a doctor, as you know, doctors, when you go to the child specialist, they will also say the same thing. You don't worry, it means you don't have to force a child to eat. When they are hungry, they will eat automatically. Okay. So, but the only thing is try to give them healthy food, avoid that, because the child doesn't eat the food, but they will stock up with so much of snacks like chips and chocolates and the fast food. So that try to avoid. Give them prasadam, and if they don't eat, let them starve, and automatically next meal they'll eat. So that is one thing. So you don't have to become angry or have intolerance for that for a 5 years old child. So you have to become Krishna consciousness and become more tolerant to your child. Second thing, whether you want to worship to Lord Shiva, it is up to you. I won't comment on that. If you have complete faith in Lord Shiva, yes, you can do it. But the Bhagavatam says, Akama sarva kamova moksha kama udarati tivrena bhakti yogena yajate purusham param. Akama, one who has no desires. Sarva kama, one who has all desires, what he has to do? Tivrena bhakti yogena, one has to do more Krishna consciousness activities so that they become a nice devotee. So my recommendation to you, after coming to Krishna consciousness, so they marry, for marriage only they go to Lord Shiva. The young girls go to Lord Shiva to get a nice husband. Yeah. Even this gopis, they went to Lord Shiva to get Krishna as the husband. Okay. So that immediately after that, what is that? That Chaturmas finish. There's a Katyayani Vrata. They follow. Okay. But I don't see anybody going to Lord Shiva to get a child. But again, people go, materialistic people go, but devotees is not recommended. You can worship to the Lord. You can go to all the temples wherever possible, spend service and do a lot of service. Pray to the Lord. My dear Lord, I want a nice devotee child. Please empower. Please, give me an empowered soul in my womb. For example, the father and mother of Ramanujacharya, they did not had a child for a long time. What they did, they went to that Chennai Thirulikeni Parthasarathi temple, and they did tapasya, some austerity they took, and they prayed to Parthasarathi, Lord Parthasarathi, that, oh my dear Lord, please give us a soul who is a great devotee. And then the Lord sent, Lord himself, a partial portion has appeared in the womb. Same like that, what has happened to, Diti. Diti, performed Payavrata. That she did it just to please Lord Shri Narayan, Lord Shri Vishnu. And then she got Lord Shri Narayan in the womb as Vamana. So, like this, if you want to have a child, you can pray to the Lord, do a lot of service and pray to the Lord, request him to offer you a great soul who can become a great devotee and make others also devotees, so that you get a nice soul within your womb. Okay, Mataji?
Okay. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna. I can't.
Yeah, Prabhuji. Yeah.
I forgot my glass. Reading is difficult.
Yes,
Yeah.
Prabhuji, so I have come just 2.5 years before into Krishna conscious, Prabhuji. Can you hear me, Prabhuji?
Sorry,
I have come into Krishna conscious almost just before 2.5 years. So my kids are already grown up. They are teenagers, Prabhuji, and my son is 20 now. So they have grown up with no restrictions. I mean, eating outside food, going outside, everything. So soon after I came into this, they are seeing me following all rules and regulations. So when they see now, they don't like following. I feel they don't like following this because of the regulations and everything, Prabhuji. So I give them prashadam, but my son is in hostel, so I can't even give him prashadam. So how to make them come into this Prabhuji?
Like as I mentioned to that other Mataji, I think Suma Mataji, because your children are grown up, it is very important that you behave very nicely with them, not treating them badly in the name of Krishna consciousness. Because the conditioned soul, they want to enjoy. And every conditioned soul is wanting to enjoy in some way or other. So what you do, you don't restrict their enjoyment because they will see it very bad. So let them enjoy. But at the same time, whenever you get an opportunity to speak to them in a nice way, speak to them in a nice way and give them prasadam, nice prasadam, so that they lose the taste for food outside. Okay, paramdashtani vartate. So when the conditioned soul will lose the taste only when they get a higher taste. So you give the higher taste, you cook whatever they want, but you offer it to the Lord and offer it and give it to them, not the meat and other things. But as I mentioned before, gently become gentle with them, set an example, take care of them nicely. By this only they can see you, okay, my mother is doing so much for me, so I have to reciprocate. And what did they want to when they want to reciprocate, they will automatically come to Krishna. And they want to reciprocate with you. When they ask you to what I can do for you, then you tell them. You don't tell them out. Immediately tell them to chant 16 rounds. When they want to reciprocate with you, you take them to temple. Tell them, okay, come, let's go to the temple, and let them do some small service in the temple or at home. If you have an altar at home, just ask them to do some small services at home. Gently and taking baby steps to bring them to Krishna consciousness, because it is very difficult to undo things, because they are already grown-ups and they are associating with so many people outside. So they will have the fear of losing their sense gratification. So you don't restrict them, but gently give them service. If they want voluntarily, if they come and ask if they want to do some service at home, then give them some small services, like offer flowers to the altar, in the deities in the altar, offer flowers to Prabhupada, clean the altar, wash the vessels of the Lord's bogas plate and all this. So some small service by which they can become devotees, and by eating prasadam. And very important, as I mentioned, you give them love, care, and have a highest tolerance with them. Okay?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for spending this extra time for answering all our queries.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for giving me the opportunity, Shilpa Mataji. And
it is our privilege to have you, Prabhu, guiding
Narayana
us.
Mataji is not here, so thanking her also.
I will definitely convey to Narayana Mataji.
Thanks to all the devotees who joined and attended this session. Thank you very much for your time and reading Bhagavatam, which will be very pleasing to the Lord and Srila Prabhupada. So thank you very much to all the devotees. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyascha Thank you so much. If I made any
Should I end the
offenses,
session?
thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Pranam.
Prabhuji, should I end the session?
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.